Hey, Dan. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right. You gonna help me on this tonight?
Hey, I have no problem with that because you're helping me.
Sometimes I'll be looking for recipes. Sometimes
It's gonna be funny.
meal prep recipes.
Yeah, my email has been blowing up. Has yours?
My email,
Well, you probably been busy. People been in the office.
not in the office, but more virtual. So, trying to get them in the groove of utilizing onboardable is the challenge. And we sticking to our guns. I kind of caught myself trying to, overextend myself to system on something that's so simple, but that's what they want you to do. They want the handout. They want you to do it for them. They want to just tell it to you over the phone. And what we're saying is until we get these documents or until this is done, we won't be able to proceed. So it's on them. So for the most part, nobody has really come in. Everything's been done virtually. A lot more stress-free.
Oh, it's gonna be stress-free, but not for me. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, real quick, I know you guys hear me, and Dan, who is my colleague, we're holding this sidebar conversation. We are actually accountability partners, believe it or not. And we call each other, if not every day, every other day or every 2 days, whatever, but we're on the phone talking about getting it right. Pretty much getting it right. So he reached out to me earlier and about PPP, and I said, you know what, just join us on the call tonight.
Mhm.
So he and I are going to tackle this. But you guys know my standpoint. I'm sorry I'm eating, but I have literally been up since 8 o'clock. I have not eaten one thing. So, and this is not even healthy what I'm eating. Some Baja fresh chips, but it is what it is right now. This time of the year, you just got to drink plenty of water, keep some fruit on hand, and just keep it pushing and slow down every now and again. So let's talk about this PPP and let's talk about stimulus and everything, because technically stimulus, or I'm not stimulus, SBA is still open, you all. But SBA has tightened their game right now. So you guys can still reap the benefit of, capturing money or getting money by helping business owners complete their application for the SBA loan. Let me see who's missing. Oh, okay, everybody's here. So I'm going to head over just for a moment, and most of you on this call probably have already been over to the SBA site. If you haven't peeked around, for yourself or for someone, I'm sure most of us that are on this Zoom call, we've been over to the SBA site. So what I typically do, and my email is going to be going off, my team is on. What I typically do for anyone who wants to apply for the SBA loan, I screen them first. And I screen them because it's time, and time is money, and money is time. But the very first thing you guys need to ensure is, number one, that they are, of course, a valid business owner. And the number one thing that I've come across with SBA, as far as the appeals, is what they're asking for right now is they want a copy of the, they don't stop. They want a copy of the 2019 income tax return, as well as a canceled check. So the canceled check needs to have the name of the business and or the person that is applying for the loan. They want their name on the check. Is Tamara? Oh yeah, she's on the call. So let me take a moment and just take you guys to the SBA site. And before I go there and waste our time, because time is precious, if you have not visited the IRS's site, I'm sorry, the IRS, SBA site, just put a 1 in the chat. That way I can go there. If I don't need to go there, then I won't. If you have not been to the site, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, so 1 person hasn't, 2 people haven't. Okay, so let's take a ride to the SBA site. I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to go for a ride. So right now I'm on their site right now. You can write down this URL or you can just write down sba.gov and it'll get you here. Once you land on the top, you just kind of scroll down and here's the application. So I'm gonna go through this application as if I was really applying for the loan myself or for someone else. And it's really simple, it's very straightforward. But before I even go through the process, I need for you guys to ensure that you don't go for the okie doke. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You read all the stuff in the paper about people getting arrested, about people providing incorrect information, fraudulent information. Make sure if you decide to assist any business owner with applying for this loan, that you validate everything that they say to you. If they say they made 250 million, then you need to validate that they made 250 million. If they say that their EIN number is whatever, you need to validate it by looking at the tax return. What happened, for those of you who don't have any idea, when they first issued, anybody's grandmother and granddaddy was getting the grant portion of this, the grant portion, which was up to 10 employees. Everybody found out that all you needed was to have 10 employees. That was the magic number. And that's what most people began to start putting on here. And that's why, number one, the grant funds were exhausted. But then once SBA caught on to the fact that a lot of people in the, that was applying for this was doing things erroneously, the funds automatically came to a halt. They say they ran out. Did they run out? Who knows? But it was a lot of shenanigans going on out there. That's what it was. So I'm going to take you guys through this as if I was completing an application for someone. I actually have a Google form that I send to everybody and I have them complete it. It's the same exact questions. The reason why I have them completed is because I want their signature on file, because at the end of this, it asks them questions about, have you been convicted in the past 10 years for a felony, et cetera, et cetera. So I want proof that Joe sent this information to me. I did not go out and solicit Joe or any of these other folks. They came to me. Now, when I first started, I was just taking the information over the phone, but I thought once the stuff started happening in the community, like, let me protect myself, let me have them sign something or send something back to me acknowledging that this information is true and factual. And I have a file in my file cabinet where we store things with all the SBA loans that were approved, the application, so that if I'm ever audited, then I have something to back up to say, oh, no, Joe came to me. I always tell you guys about support, about backup. I also have this little guy right here. I made him make an appointment. And my appointments were deleted for some reason, but I'll show you guys what my point and what I'm trying to make. So these are all my appointments that are on my calendar through the 12th. So this is everybody who's booked a calendar appointment for whatever with me for whenever. So this stores it. I could go up here to the reports and do appointments, put a date in here and get everybody who called and made an appointment for me. You guys see by now, I like to back it up. I like to come with receipts. You want to play with me? Then come on and play. So I keep track of who made an appointment with me, because if the IRS or in this case, SBA comes to me, I didn't go solicit these people And I'm telling you guys this because people were in the street soliciting this service for $1,000, whatever. Okay, whatever. You name it. So anyway, you come to me, I have your tax return, you tell me a little bit about your business. Here are the questions. I like to shoot to the chase. Most of the clients that you're going to get, they're either going to be right here, a business with not more than 500 clients. You may have somebody that's in agricultural, you're going to do this, or you may have somebody that's right here that has, they're a sole proprietor with or without employees, and maybe they're an independent contractor. So in my experience, I only clicked these 3 boxes. I didn't have the opportunity, or I didn't complete, I take that back. I did do this one here for some nonprofit organizations. All this little stuff in the middle, I didn't experience. If you guys want to know more about it, then you will know as you begin to interview or ask your client, is the applicant and the ESOP, you need to know what that's defined, what that means. So let's cut to the chase. They probably these first 3 or this last one. Okay, so in this case, let me go back up. I did this in my sleep, so I know the next box, I need to check all of these. It asked you, is the applicant is not engaged in any illegal activity? No. The applicant, no principal or the applicant with a 50% or greater ownership has any outstanding child support? No. Does the applicant have any live performances regarding sexual nature, whatever? No. Does the applicant does not derive more than 1/3 gross receipts from gambling activities? No. You would know, they would have told you. Not in the business of lobbying. Applicant cannot be a state, local jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. So no. So I'm gonna go to the next page. Then here's where I need to put in all the applicant's information. So I'm going to put in my name. I'm going to put in my trade name. I'm just skipping. It's going to ask me for my EIN 9012345678. What type of organization? So here's where you need to ask the applicant. Are they an S Corp, C Corp, sole proprietor, nonprofit, any other type of formation? You're going to put that in there. Sole proprietor. This applicant, I did me, I'm not a nonprofit. I'm not involved in any type of franchise. I need to put my gross receipts in here. Here's where you guys are gonna get stuck. Here's where people got denied. Okay, here's where folks got denied. If you guys don't know what cost of goods sold are, I'm going to ask you to do some homework tonight, and that is Google what is cost of goods sold. Okay, when we do a tax return, cost of goods sold is a formula that's in the tax return, and if it's not in there, it's basically asking you what was the goods made, the total revenue. Let's go very simple. The cost of the shirt was $100. But how much did that shirt really cost you? What was the cost of the good? How much did it actually cost you as the owner of the organization to make that shirt? Okay, so in this case, we're gonna say it costs $50 to make the shirt. So they want to know if you sold 500 shirts, what was the cost of the goods sold? You, as the preparer of this form, you don't have to fill that out. That's up to them to help you out if you can't figure it out in your in the tax return. But hear me very clearly. I'm just gonna say, Dan, what was your cost of goods sold? I am not gonna put a number in there. Dan may say, oh, I don't know. Just what do you think? I don't know. You don't have, I don't know. You do not want to just arbitrarily put anything in this. Let them tell you. And you just got to say, well, I don't know, Dan, I can't really help you with that. You got to give me a number if you want me to finish this. It's up to you. It's your application. You're ultimately responsible. He tell me a number. Now, let's be smart about this. If you are asking for a loan, from SBA, and let me just show you what I'm about to do. I'm gonna put my cost of goods sold at $775. Now, somebody who don't know what they're doing, they may put that, but guess what? They're gonna get rejected. You know why? Because basically the IRS is saying, well, all you made was $10,000. 785 from 775, all you made was $10,000. How can we determine that that's a economic loss for you? That's only $10,000 to the SBA. That's not a sizable amount. So do things within, ration it has to make sense. So I would tell them, okay, well, you said 775. I don't know if we want to go any further. You sure you want to use that number? Because it probably will get rejected. I'm not going to tell them what to put in, but I'm going to guide them, because I don't want to be the one that says, they say, well, my financial home is the one who filled the application out. And they told me to put, no, I didn't tell you to put anything. I guided you, but I didn't tell you. So just judgment. All right. So in this case, I'm not going to put nothing because I don't have any cost of goods sold. This is not rental property, but had I decided that maybe I did lose some money on my rental property, I would put how much I lost. The loss would be how much I didn't collect in rent over whatever period of time. Okay. Not, if I was agricultural or nonprofit, I would put this 785 on this line versus up here. And I'm gonna have to put something here so it'll turn green. Compensation received from other resources. Most people are gonna tell you no, but if they did get something, you need to put it in this line here. Then it asks you for a brief description of what are the other. Okay, the mailing address. Just like we teach you guys when you apply for credit, everything needs to be consistent. Everything needs to be consistent here, because if I put another address down the street and it comes up different, then it's a red flag. It's like information doesn't match. So you need a business address to be the same as maybe what's on their DUNS paperwork, or how are they registered with their business credit, what reflected on their website, what's reflected with the bank. Everything needs to match. Some people had a 123 Main Street and 123 ABC Street. That stuff didn't match. And how people got busted with the bank is because a lot of uneducated taxpayers, business owners, so to speak, or fraudulent business owners, they had personal checking accounts. And I'm gonna give you a great example. My guy works at a credit union. They don't do any business accounts. So when all that money came into the credit union, the CFO was like, wait, what's all this money coming in? Hold on. And then they started getting the influx of money hitting the account, like ACH. The CFO of the credit union said, hold on, we're not issuing any money to any of our credit union members because our credit union members don't have business bank accounts. So what did they do? They called an employee meeting and said, we just received all these ACHs and we've been receiving them all week, and we don't have business accounts here. So what did they do? They put a freeze on every person's account who had an incoming ACH from US Treasury Department until they called SBA to get an okay to release the money. But here we are, this person, manager or CFO of a credit union, stereotyped because he said that, and this is what he said, how is it that Joe, who comes in here every week looking like this, all of a sudden got this type of deposit put in his account? He never communicated to us that he was a business owner. So that's a CFO of a credit union making a decision like that. So that's what everybody experienced. So my point in all of this, if you have a bank account that has 1011 kumquat, you need to make sure that that's what it says on the bank statement. That's what everything reads, because you have blockers that will try to block your blessings. And had that credit union not release the funds within a certain period of time, because you can't hold ACHs for forever. I think it's if you hold it for a certain period of time, you either hold it for a certain period of time or it has to go back, or if you hold it beyond a certain threshold, it has to stay in their account. But it was something of that nature. I'm not in treasury management anymore. But so just make sure everything matches, you guys. Okay. Make sure the phone number matches. Make sure the email is correct. Please make sure that the email is correct, because SBA communicates with everyone via email. Some folks gave incorrect email address. Guess what? They kept saying they never heard from SBA, never heard from SBA. And then what happened was 2 months later, SBA sent them a letter and said, sent a letter in the mail, we're closing your account, or your application. We never heard from you. Applicant is crying, well, I sent it in, you look, they gave the wrong email address. They have to go and apply again. They could reopen the case, but in the ones that I've got, SBA is like, they need to start all over again. Okay. Date that they started their business. When did they establish it? It needs to be the same date of establishment that the Secretary of State has on file. It's not a guesstimate. It's not like, oh, I think I started January 1st. No, I need the exact date. If they don't know the exact date, make them do the work. Have them log on to Secretary of State site. You guys can, if you choose to, is sos.gov, because we're all in California, except for Audrey. You're in Ohio. I don't know who your Secretary of State is, but you can get that information offline. All you got to do is come here, sos.ca.
I go there faithfully. So I know exactly where to go.
Business entity. Business search. You can put in any of them, anybody who got unsearched. She probably still inactive. See, she's suspended. She didn't file her taxes, but I could come right here and figure out, oops. Anyway, I could go there and figure out her information. This is when she got her articles of incorporation. Okay, that's her entity number, but this is the main number that we're looking for. All right, so I showed you guys where to go if they act like they don't know their information. When did they become an owner? What type of activity? It tells you what kind of activity. Be as clear and as specific as possible with this information, okay? If they tell you that they're in hotel, what kind of hotel? If they say they're in health services, what? Because you got to put the description down here, and you have to kind of figure out where they fit, all right? Number of employees. This is where people started lying. Everybody had 10 employees when they didn't have none. 0101, 1983, 0101, 1983. I think I was scared to put 10. I don't think I was scared to put 10 for myself. So anyway, get over here. This little thing here, this little question, make sure you answer it. It's on the page, on page 2, right in the top. Is the business owned by a business entity, by another business entity is what it's asking you? No. Then you got to put the owner's information. So this would be me. I own my company. So it's a drop down button here, 100%. Okay, I see some questions. 1 second, I'll get to you guys. Yeah, I was born in 1980. Yes. So then, you know, my information. If they have multiple business owners, then you got to click on this button and put the multiple business owner's name. I'm gonna scroll to the next one, and if anything is wrong, it's gonna tell me. Here's the page that you want to be careful with. This is why I have them complete their form. Do they have any felonies? Yes, no, no. Has the applicant been suspended or debarred from contracting with the government or receiving government funds? No. Now, all those folks who lied and whatnot, if they get caught, when they come back to try to fill something out like this, they're gonna have to put, yeah, they've been debarred from receiving any further government grants or funding. But in this case, no. Are you presently subject to any indictment, criminal information, arraignment, any of this information? Have you been in trouble, pleaded, convicted with the felony, 7 o'clock, convicted with the felony in the last 5 years, whatever, pleaded no content? If they have, you got to check yes. Otherwise, no. Here's where I will put my information because I'm completing this application on behalf of them. Here's what I'm charging. $350. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, supply and demand. When I first started this, it was at 190. It may have been even 175, but supply and demand, when my phone kept ringing, the price kept going up because I had tons and tons and tons and tons. I had my son in here, I had my daughter in here helping me do applications. So we maxed out, I think, at I know what I maxed out. My daughter started pricing $500. So I wasn't charging $500, but I told her to go do her own thing. And that's what she was charging people. So that was on her. People was paying, but I wasn't charging that much. I was charging at most, I think I charged $325, $350 was my highest that I went. But I started, I believe, at 195, and then I went up. So you guys can charge. So I give SBA permission to, they give me SBA permission to call me. So this is a yes. You put in all their banking account information, Bank of A, whoever this is. I'm not gonna submit this, but this is somebody something. I come down here, I check the box that I certify that none of this is, I certify under perjury and penalty, whatever it says, that this is true information. I'm gonna go to the next button. It's not gonna submit. It's gonna give you an opportunity to verify everything that you keyed in. Before you hit the submit button, you guys, please double check these and make sure that everything is accurate and factual. What I do, because everybody wanna know, what did you submit? How did you submit it? I just do right click, print. I save this as a PDF and I have a folder with all SBA applications because they're not standing here in front of me. Sometimes I send them the applications, sometimes I don't. I stopped sending them applications because folks got clever and they start doing it on their own and they stopped coming to me. So that's why I stopped sending them the applications. So I'm gonna hit cancel because I really don't want to send this off. And I'm actually gonna get out of here because I don't want to submit this, okay? So we're gonna just close that and get out of that. Now, let's talk a little bit about PPP. PPP, oh, I got tons and tons of stuff. So PPP, for all of you, the first thing that you need to find out is how much of a loss did they have for 2020. Because the primary rule here states that they must have at least a 25% or more decrease in revenue from one quarter, so like Q1, 2, 3, or 4, 20 versus Q1, 2, 3, or 4 and 19. Most people will probably have a greater loss in Q2 2020 compared to Q2 2019. The reason why is that was the quarter, March, April, and May. March, when the orders came in, most states were shut down and we didn't really get out the house. I think March, April, May. I think we didn't really get out the house until late May or June, whenever they released the order and whatever it was. So I suspect that that will be the quarter that most business owners will use for proof to show that they had a loss of 25% or more in 2020 than they did in 2019. So let's use numbers. So if in 2019, Q2 they made $100,000, but in Q2 2020, they made $75,000. That right there is a 25% decrease in revenue in the COVID year. Okay, so that's how number one, I asked them, tell me a little bit about your business. I also tell them that I will need a copy of their 2019 income tax return, not 2020. I need your 2019 income tax return. That's where the conversation starts, because if they're not a business owner, it's no need to even waste your time or waste my time. Time is money and money is time. So that's, eliminate them. And if they are, then you proceed with asking the next question. So tell me a little bit about your revenue. Did you experience a 25% revenue loss from one year to the other? What I have been getting? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go and check my numbers and pull. Now, most business owners, first of all, I'm like this. Before you even make the call or set up the appointment, and no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say. But they should do a little bit of homework before they set the appointment. But most of them do not know their numbers. They're gonna say, I don't know, can you help me? How can I find this out? What report can I pull to use my numbers? And so that's when you tell them the easiest thing is to compare a profit and loss statement for whatever quarter we're going to use for 1 year and a profit and loss statement for another year. Well, I don't have a profit and loss statement. I don't even use financial statements. Well, we need to come up with a way how we can figure out that you show you have a 25% loss from 1 year to the other. Do you have bank statements? Can we use your bank statements? This one you catch people in lies. Well, I don't know if I want to use that because I have some extra deposits. So I'm telling you guys, you just gotta pull it out of them. And the true business owners who are legal beagle and who are eligible to complete the application will provide you with the pertinent information that you need. Okay. So let me pull up my little cheat sheet that we got the other day. Jen, you wasn't on our call, but I think I sent you the screenshot, right?
You talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you
Oh,
say?
you were on that call on Monday. Oh, yeah, you was. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
I think I was.
Yeah, you were. Okay, so I don't need to. You
Can
guys.
I ask a quick question?
Yep.
So, great information you provided about the PPP loan. So, those who want to apply for it will qualify if they had a loss in their business based on a certain quarter of 2019 in reference to the previous year, that same quarter, the previous year.
Right. I'm trying
So,
to fix my screen. I'm sorry. I can only see me. Well,
so when applying for the PPP, obviously there's some things that have to be provided. Is it a question or two that's asked, like how much did you make in this quarter in 18 and how much did you make in this quarter, I mean in 19, and how much did you make in 2020?
so let's go to the application. Bridget, do you know that page where the PPP application is? Well, let me say this. There is one application, but every bank, depending on what bank your client, some clients will come to you and say, I want to do it with this bank. Some clients will come to you and say, I don't know anything about it. You just find me a bank to get my funding. So let's just go here. Oh, wait a minute, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Well, I don't want to go here because they're going to send me, I'm trying to find the application, wait a minute.
That
Wait a minute.
you're right. I actually did 2 applications today. They're actually on all the individual bank sites.
Yeah,
And that's what it looks like. They need to go to whatever bank they had the loan with before, and they have a pre-application. I did 2 today for 2 of my clients today. So if they got a loan already, they're just doing a pre-application. So when it opens up, they're gonna shoot you an email telling you what to update.
right. And most, in all, I'm going to say all, probably, anyone who got the first round of PPP loans, then their bank automatically sent them a letter because my clients have been sending those emails my way, FYI. So for right now,
Right, exactly.
mhm, and it is, you just go to their website and put in some preliminary information. Let me see if I can find one email for you all. I probably deleted it because I was like, why she send me this? But wait a minute. Okay. So, okay, it has her name up here. I'm not going to show her information, but it basically says, let me see if I could do this. Oh, no, it still has her information. Okay. It basically says on here what they need, of course, is the government driver's license or some type of identification uploaded. If they had employees, then they need them to provide an IRS Schedule C or an IRS Schedule 1065. A 1065 is for partnerships. They just need the K1. If they had a payroll, they need the 940s, the 941s. And for those of you who are not familiar with those, 940 and 941 are quarterly and annual payroll tax returns. IRS Form 1120. I don't even know what no Form 11, I'm sorry, Form 1020. What is a form? Do you guys know what a Form 1020 is, Dan?
Form 1020, I really don't. I never heard of that form.
Okay, we can ready to find this out. Form 1020.
Um,
Oh, okay. Okay, so Form 1020 is asking them to send that in. That's if anybody has, that's why, because we don't use it that often. If they have do Form 5550 for benefits. When you have benefits, you have to go through, you have to file a tax return with the Internal Revenue. We're talking about like 401ks and things like that. When you have the stock options, companies have to file Form 5500. So publication 1020 looks like maybe it's some kind of, let me see, what does it say? What is a document? You were notified. Oh, well, Form 1020 is if someone was notified that they are being audited. It looks like the IRS sent letter 1020 to you for one of the following reasons. So anyway, you guys can Google Form 1020 and get your own interpretation of it. But so what they're requesting, Form 1020 payroll statements, they need to know that their NAICS code. That is a code that every industry has. So if you don't know what that is, they will provide you with a link where you can determine how to obtain someone's NAICS. And then a voided check of the person or the company that is applying for the loan. It also says if they don't have any employees, same thing, a Schedule C or a Form 1065 K1. So it is pretty self-explanatory, you all, once you get into the application process. How is PPP actually calculated? It is 2.5 times. So if the payroll is $100,000 and you're trying to help an individual determine how much they are going to get for their loan, it's typically 2.5 times the payroll amount. I think that's how it goes.
Say that one more time.
2.5 PPP.
Whatever the payroll is that you run regularly, you would get, the max you could get is 2.5 times more of that.
That is exactly it. But I'm trying to, okay. I wanted to see if I can find the calculation. I can't. You are eligible for a loan equal to 2.5 times the average monthly payroll. So if I run payroll for someone and their payroll is averaging at about 50K for the 2 months, then they're going to get 2.5 times that 50K. So that's 150. Is that right?
And you have to pay that back though, right?
Well, there are some stipulations as far as loan forgiveness. The two that I did this week, it was 60% of the payroll amount. So they had payroll for an 8-week period. So they were forgiven 60% of that amount. And then they were forgiven for their rent as well as utilities. And believe it or not, these two that I did this week, their rent was more than their payroll. So they benefited from it. You know, for not, you know, because they got 100% of the rent and 100% of the utilities, where they only got 60% of the payroll. So what we're talking about now, the forgiveness part, you all don't have to worry about that right now. But as I was telling, I think I was talking to Bridget the other day, and I was saying, when you guys talk about pricing, consider bundling things together. Consider bundling the application, the initial application, as well as the forgiveness portion together. That way they're paying you all up front. You will know on the back end that they need to pay you, or they don't need to pay you for the forgiveness portion, but you know you're obligated to do it. It's also an opportunity for you to pick the client up as an monthly bookkeeping or to do their taxes. So you have to be the salesperson and ask the question. Today, someone found me on LinkedIn. He had questions about his LLC and his S Corp. I could have said, okay, thank you, bye, I'm gone. But I asked the question, so who's handling your taxes? Who handles your accounting? He said, no one. I said, okay, I'll get you some information out. It'll be out late tonight or tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning. So you all have to ask those questions. Don't just fill out the application. Realize that you have the potential of having clients already lined up for you because they've reached out to you to assist them with their PPP application. Who's all on the call? Okay. So what I need for all of you to do, if it's something that you choose to take on to bring additional revenue into your organization this month, and maybe at the beginning of February, is just pull up PPP, do some reading. But the main thing, you guys, I didn't know nothing about PPP or SBA when it first came out. But you guys heard that saying, fake it till you make it, readers are leaders. You guys have got to, like, I could have been selfish and said they could learn on their own, but I'm giving you tidbits of information. And you got to take the tidbit of information that I'm giving you and just run with it and try to read, or, you know, power partner with some of us in this group and ask us questions. You know, that's how we do in one of my other groups. We just look at Dan and I. We don't know it all, but we get on the phone. It could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be 6 o'clock in the morning. Not, we ain't got no 6 o'clock, but we just ask each other questions, text each other. What do you think about this? I'm doing this. And that's how you guys have power partners. And that's how you guys learn. And that's how we as a community, you know, scratch each other's back instead of being selfish. I cannot get every doggone person that needs a PPP, a tax return, a SBA. So if I would be selfish to hold it, you know, to myself and not teach you guys or share it with you guys. You guys have come through the program. Why wouldn't I share it with you guys and give you that same opportunity? I didn't know about PPP, and you guys have heard me, or SBA. You guys have heard me say, if you know how to read, you can do this. So if you know how to read, you really can do this. It doesn't require that you have a CPA, a EA, a MBA, or all those little letters behind your name. It just requires that you do your due diligence and that you read very thoroughly and you communicate to the person who's providing you with the information. And the one thing that you do need to communicate to them is that I cannot guarantee that this is going to be approved. I can only provide the information that you give me on the application. I am processing your application. I do not know if it's going to be approved. Now, I do have people in SBA, so that's where I started sending mine to the people that I knew when they got rejects. So that's how they got approved. But, you know, it's one of those things, I just knew people and they just got approved. So you guys have the opportunity to just go on out there on your Facebook page, your Instagram page, whatever pages you are on social media, copy the wording that I use. I don't care. It's enough pie to go around this entire Zoom room. I can't do it all. Copy what I have, put some things out on your page. People are going to start filling up. You saw my appointment calendar is full. And now it's your turn to speak with confidence and fake it till you make it. Fill it out an application. Make sure you read up on PPP a little bit more and make sure that you can just tell them what they need. They're going to rely on you to complete it. Tell them what you need and go from there. Have enough information to tell them we're going to shop, because not every bank is going to give you the loan, so we may need to shop. If bank number one says no, we're going to bank number two. Ask them what their preference is, and they may already tell you what their preference is, okay? And then before you do any application, what are you going to do? You're going to collect money. You are not going to process the loan and they say, I'll pay you on the back end. You will never catch them. Okay. So what question? Yeah.
What was pretty cool on the SBA was you can actually list yourself as a person who's helping the person apply and add a fee. Is there a limit on the fee? Just out of curiosity.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there was a limit. I want to say it was $1,000.
Okay. And then
Who African churches apply? It just says from me. Oh, Tamara. Yes, because they are considered a nonprofit organization.
So is that option, a similar option like that, available for a PPP, where you could add a fee like the way we can for SBA?
Based on what we were taught the other day, she said, yes, she read some regulations that pretty much stated when they first came out and said that CPAs and whatnot could not charge, they realized that they were raking them over and they were doing work for free. So yes, you can.
So let's say someone wants to do an SBA loan and we add the fee in the application, and we could charge maybe like 1%, right? Or 0.5% of whatever it is they get approved for.
I don't think you can do that though, Dan.
Really?
I don't think you can do that. Well,
that's what we talked about that the other day.
What you talking about?
Huh?
Because some of these people get like 150,000.
Right. So I think in one of our meetings, We had discussed 0.5%, 1%. So the application fee is basically the, you know, the starting fee. And then
Okay,
we get
so what
approved.
you're referring to, Dan, you're
Mm.
referring to pro lending.
Pro lending.
Yeah, that's what you're referring to. Yeah, they don't have pro lending, so I didn't even get into that discussion with them. You're referring to,
Because I was thinking, I know, you know,
you're referring to this. They don't have access to pro lending, so I couldn't really train them or teach them on pro lending. But since Dan asked the question,
Okay.
pro lending will allow you to shop for different, shop around, just like a broker does, a mortgage broker does for different loans for your folks. So it's a lot of different loans that we can shop around for. I was trying to go to my home page. Well, let me just do this. So, okay. So if a business owner came to me, I can get them I can go and shop for, you know, a term loan, an invoice factoring, asset-based lending type of loan, line of credit, equipment leasing, machinery equipment loan. So I can go and shop. And this is what Dan was talking about. This is where I would put in the rate, Dan. This is where I would charge them the fee, a percentage, or either a flat fee. I believe this is what you're referring to.
Mm.
But we cannot, on the SBA, there's no way that we can charge like 1%, 5%, because we are charging them up front.
Uh-huh.
And so we have no idea how much their loan amount is.
Right, right. What about like authorization to debit? So if you make an arrangement with,
That's why I couldn't see. Okay.
what about authorization to debit, meaning we have authorization to debit the person's account upon funding, right? Is that possible?
What if they don't get approved, Dan? Then where's your money gonna come from?
Well, see, I'm with Dan. These are the questions I wanted to ask because, you know, some people get the money and just run off. So these are the exact questions I was asking. But even if they don't get the money, I mean, I feel like you won't get the money, but you still get the money for processing it though, right?
How
That's
can
why
you?
you
'Cause
gotta-
they have to pay. You gotta pay up front. They gotta pay you up front.
But yeah, so I think that the upfront application fee should be charged automatically, and upon success, authorization to debit puts you in a place where you have authorization that when they are funded, you can deduct it from their bank account at something like 5%. I'm just wondering if that's how, if that's legally how we could do it, that's how I would do it. I would do an application fee.
But let me ask you a question. Let's think about this. 5% of 150 is 7,500. How you gonna know how much they got?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I mean, you know, in other scenarios, we can see when someone receives, let's say, a refund, right?
I'm on a tax refund.
That's a whole different, that's obviously easy to find out. As far as the other items, I don't know. I mean, you tell us, is there a way to know?
Not on this, but if we were using Pro Lendly, then yes.
Okay,
Pro Lendly does, it tells us what they were funded.
yeah.
Is there a cost for that? I'm kind of new to the pro lending thing. So I might.
Yeah, I am too. How much is it?
You don't know what this is? You don't stop.
I know,
I'm
I
with
know a
Dan.
little bit.
I guess I would be one to make sure.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
There you go.
97 a month, damn.
Yeah.
No, it is 97 a month, but let's think about the investment.
I would to pay that. Shoot.
If you charge two people $500 or whatever you charge, you're gonna get a return on your investment.
Yep.
You gotta think about it like this. You may not get your return on your investment the first 2 months, whatever, but eventually you're gonna get your ROI and then some.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta spend money to make money.
And then if you know you're gonna be
True.
offering people loans, then yeah, you would get that. But if you're not gonna be offering people loans, then maybe that's something you wouldn't invest in.
True.
But Dan, I'm trying to understand. What you want to do with yours. This is what it sounds like. You just say, I'm just saying, just say you was charging a person $50. I know we would charge more than that, but I'm just saying you would charge a person $50 up front. Then they got approved for whatever they got approved, and then you're saying they owe you an additional certain percentage. Is that what you're saying?
She's
What I'm
taking it from a broker standpoint, just like our real estate agent. Our real estate agent gonna charge us to find us a house and get us approved. He gonna get his when the funding comes through.
Yeah, but he's getting the realtor is getting everything off the back end because they whatever, we're gonna pick 10 houses and one of them gonna get approved. But in this case, with these loans, we don't know whether the person's gonna get approved or not. So we gotta charge them up front for processing this application. If you get approved, fantastic. If you don't get approved, I already told you I couldn't guarantee it. I've still been paid. I'm not expecting anything else on the back end because I've done what I set out to do, is to process your application. So that's why I'm not understanding why would you want to charge something on the back end because you've already been paid.
I would charge an application fee
Mm-hmm.
for processing the application, assisting the individual with that. That'd probably be about $250. And then in addition to my service, upon approval of their loan, I don't think there's nothing wrong with maybe 5% of 0.05, 0.5% of what they get. You know what I mean? Because really the actual price to do this type of loan and getting them this funding, it actually is cost more than the application fee. But most people are not going to pay up front because they want some type of assurance that their success. So we'll do the application, charge a fee for application fee, but we'll do our part to get you the loan that you qualify for as smooth and as easy as possible. And after that, I would say then we can get our actual, payment. The actual payment of $250, that's fine, but I think that we're leaving money on the table as well.
I think in a normal situation, it may be conducive, but I also think there are a lot of loan processors that do charge a success fee. I was just getting ready to say in a different situation where maybe we weren't talking about, pandemic funds, it may be ideal. But in this case, I don't know. You can do it.
Hey, I would love to stay, guys, but I gotta go. I appreciate this meeting. Cosette, thank you so much. You guys have a good one.
Bye,
Go.
partner.
Thank you.
Okay.
I like that term, success fee.
Me too.
Mhm.
I was like, what would you call that? And then I was like,
I
that.
like that, Rashonda.
But I guess that's what it is called.
Yeah, we work with companies who do that.
Yeah,
How do they collect?
I actually think what he said is a great opportunity with corporations. But with individual people, small businesses, I don't think they're going to go for that because they really need their money right now.
Mhm.
So I kind of agree with what Cosette is saying. You got to pick your poison with that one. But I could see you doing it though. I really could.
I'm that way too, because we don't, like Cosette said, we're putting in the information that they give us. We don't know if it's correct or not. Any little thing could kick them out. They could have given us one wrong answer. But again, we're putting in what you tell us. So, if they tell us something that's incorrect and they're not approved, I'm like, well, damn, I gave them $250 and I didn't get anything, I mean, it's a 50-50 chance you have to take, you know?
Exactly. That's why I say with corporations, I can see doing that with them. But
Mhm.
with small people, I think it's kind of hard to do
Right,
with them.
right,
But I
right.
could actually see, though, the fact that he brought that up, I could see doing something like upon success, a $500 bonus or $1,000 bonus. I
Yeah.
think that's reasonable. But that would be an initial contract that you send them so they'll know up front,
Mhm.
because you don't know what they're going to get. But if they get
Right.
something, we'll probably know that, you know.
We get notice if they're approved, will we get notice or we wouldn't even know?
I'm not
Well,
really
you
sure
would because
if
you're
you get
completing the
notice.
application on their behalf.
Say
Well,
that again.
not for SBA, but for the other you would. I did. I got notifications.
But SBA, you would not.
No, because you have their email information in there. It's gonna go.
Their bank,
But they're gonna call you anyway and be like, I got this.
right,
email,
and their
what do
bank
I do?
information. Exactly.
So,
So what I'm saying is on the PPP, couldn't you put that in your receipt or something like that, saying upon completion, there's you know, some type of bonus fee for processing,
you could.
And speak
because
specifically.
it's on your invoice per contract per se. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You could.
Especially because you're getting notified. So you're going to get notified. You're just not going to know how much.
Right.
But
So
that's actually some extra income. So I kind of like that. I think his percentage was kind of high, but I like his concept and especially his wording. I
mhm.
love that.
So what do you guys think? You just need to start marketing it, really.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm eating, you guys. I have not
I
eaten.
am too.
I wish I was eating my spaghetti that I was making.
I'm actually eating too, but I'm muting. So I think it's good. I just think to compose some type of invoice that has that on there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think actually right now, I don't see anything wrong with charging at least up to $1,000 for a bonus fee. I think that's reasonable.
Mhm. And just let them know up front. And the one thing that I do want you guys to know is that, like, I have people getting on they just go and make an appointment. And feel free to cancel appointments once they don't answer the right questions, because your time is valuable.
Mhm.
And they just want to call and shoot the shit.
Mhm.
Like, I ain't got time for this. I've been on the phone all day, so literally like every hour almost. And some people just call to suck blood out of you.
Mm.
So just, ask questions before you accept the appointment. I have 3 questions that I ask. Sometimes they answer them, sometimes they don't. If they don't answer them, then
Mhm.
if they don't answer them, then sometimes I'll send them an email and say, you didn't answer, please answer before 30 minutes before our appointment, or else I'm going to cancel.
You attach that, you attach the Google Doc to a link, or you send it to them after they contact you?
It's inside when they make their appointment, it's in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When the appointment link.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't have an appointment link. No, when they go in and answer the questions, when they go in and set their appointment, there's some questions in there that I ask them.
Oh, some questions before the Google Doc.
Yeah, but I'm talking 2 different things. When they schedule their appointment, they don't get the Google Doc until I talk to them.
Oh, okay. I thought when they scheduled the appointment that the Google Doc was there. So you're asking them those pertinent questions first to see if they even might qualify before you give them that Google Doc. Is that correct?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
You hungry? Maybe you should go.
Right.
You
No, I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find something. So, okay, Regina, you gonna get it. I'm trying to find, I want to show them my email that I send when they don't show up. So this is what they get from me when they don't show up. This picture is way too big. Let me see if I can shrink this. Let me see. Hold on. Forward.
Let me get up for me.
Oh, what? Oh, wow. Okay. This is what I send folks when they don't show up for their appointment with me. This just don't want to act right for me. They get this email here of me looking at my cell phone. And it says, oops, looks like you forgot you made a commitment. Well, it should have said commitment today. You scheduled an appointment this morning at 8:30. If you're still interested in our services, feel free to reschedule. So it makes them think. Everybody who gets that be like, oh, that caught my attention. I am so sorry. But do something like that when you have all these appointments on your schedule and people just make appointments and then don't keep them.
Okay.
I send it right from my phone. I stay on the phone for 5 minutes. If they're not on here, then I send them back. What? You guys, I have so many messages on here. So anyway, who's gonna do it?
I think I'm gonna do it actually with the clients I have that are actually, they have corporations. I think I'm gonna do it with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it.
Who said I'm gonna do it?
Regina.
Regina? Audrey already raised her hand. I know Rashonda gonna do it. She lost it, but she can. You gonna do it, Tamara? Y'all just need to go do some,
I think I have like 2 waiting in the wing to attempt it. I'm a little nervous, but I'm gonna try.
Girl, give it to
imagine how I
God.
was the first couple of times I did it.
You know what? It's a yes or no. Give it to God. It ain't gonna even hurt. Trust me.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
And they
I'm
giving you the information. It's not like you lying or anything. And then let me.
Yeah, I had to put them on.
And that bonus is not up front. So that's why they're gonna do it, trust me, because the bonus is not up front.
It's just the process, man.
Y'all just gotta be creative and come up
Say
with
that
something.
again about up front.
I said be creative. See this post? This right here is what's filling up my calendar. This and this. You know, I just put a link. Well, this one I didn't put a link to that, but this one down here. Oh, this was mine. I put a link, schedule appointment. I put it in stories. Put it in stories. That's what's gonna get you. Stories will definitely. Only thing about stories is when you put the link for them to make the appointment, they're gonna ask you, I don't see the link or something. So that's why I put it in both places. I post it in stories. I put it on my page. And when they say, how can I do it or blah, 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 I'll either take the time and give them the link on here, or I'll say, go to my homepage, information is there. Post it all over. Just post PPP. Flood your page with PPP information.
On Instagram, you could put your link in that bio too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I change my link all the time to whatever it is that I need them to look at.
But just be ready and please screen the people, because screen them. You're gonna get any and everybody. And go in some of the groups. Go in the truckers groups. That's a good that's good money. The truckers. So, all right, y'all. I gotta eat. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
there. My
It's all
son ordered
good. Go
food.
enjoy.
Look, he ordered some Baja Fresh.
Well, go enjoy. It was a good class, very informative. We appreciate it. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm sure everybody appreciated it because it was a great class.
Thank you. Can we get the recording? Because I was cooking.
Did I who?
Can I get the recording? I was making my spaghetti.
Oh, that's why you was blocked.
Yeah. When everybody be teased with my good spaghetti and they couldn't get done virtually.
Oh, Lord.
I will
That's
send it
I
out.
was
I have
surprised.
about
My part
6
about me
follow-up
talking about
proposals to get out tonight before I go to bed. So I will get that out
All right.
at 2 in the morning.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
we
Bye, you
the
guys.
recording, right?
Huh?
We'll get the recording because I have to look at it again.
I'm gonna send it out. As soon as it stops, I promise I will send this one out and last night's out.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
bye
you.
ladies.
Okay,
Bye, you
thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much for that. It's very informative. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.